So Ketvach, we're learning for a Refuah Shlema for Shmuel ben Ita Etel and Meya Moshe Aaron ben Devo Naomi. They should have the Rich to go Refuah. Okay, we're up to Chaf Beis Amid Beis. We're up to the Mishnah, packed full Mishnah with information and the nice Geschmack Adat. Shvuel Shlo Yachol. You made a shvuah and you just said you're not going to eat. That's all you said. I'm not eating. Ve'achol v'shasa, and you eat and you drink. Ein chayiv ela achas. You only chayiv once, because shtia is b'chal achila, and you made one shvuah, and in one halama you went ahead and you ate and you drank. So it's like eating twice in one halama. You know, so therefore you're going to be chayiv an oil v'yoyre. Shvuah shaloi oichel. You make a shvuah that I won't eat, and in addition you say ushlei eshta, I won't drink. So now you have a double shvuah. You have one shvuah that I won't eat and one shvuah that I won't drink. V'yachol v'shasa. Now chayiv shtayim. You'll be over one on two shvuahs because there's two separate shvuahs. Shvuah shaloi oichel. You make a shvuah not to eat. V'yachol pas chitinu pas sa'irinu pas kusmin, and you eat either wheat bread, in addition barley bread, in addition spelt bread. It's very funny. Spelt bread, you know, I thought it was a Mishnah. My people who are gluten-free, they eat spelt bread. It's not so bad. Anyway, little advertisement, I'm getting paid. You're going to go ahead and you eat these three. So, you only chayiv what? Once. Again, you made a shvuah not to eat. So eating three separate breads, you still only over one shvuah because your shvuah was not to eat, and you ate, and you had l'chayritz in one halama, and you ate three. Why do you give this case? Because of the next case. Shvuah shlei oichel pas chitin, u pas sa'orin, u pas kusmin. You don't make a shvuah not to eat. You make a shvuah not to eat pas chitin, make a shvuah not to eat pas sa'orin, and make a shvuah not to eat pas kusamim v'achol chayav kolachas v'yachas. You chayav in each and every one. The Gemara is going to ask, maybe you're just picking out these three because since you made a shvuah not to eat, it includes everything. Maybe I'm just picking out these three things. The Gemara will discuss that. So again, two cases, very, very mirroring each other, right? That shvuah not to eat, not to drink, and you eat and drink, right? Chayiv once. Shvuah not to eat, shvuah not to drink, and you do both, you chayiv. Shvuah not to eat, and you eat three types of bread, different types, chayiv once. Shvuah not to eat one bread, two bread, three bread, again, so very basically mirrors itself. Next case. Shvuah shlei eshta, not to drink. V'shosa mashkin harbe, and you drink a lot. Ein chayiv alachas. Shvuah shlei eshta yayin, v'shemen udavash, v'shosa chayiv kolachas v'yachas. Shvuah shlei oichel, v'ochel oichel shein ruyin la'achila, and you eat something that's not roy. V'shasa mashkin shein ruya l'shtiya pata. You weren't over on Yeshua. Shvuah shlei oichel v'ochel nevelas treifish katzim u'ramashim. We had this earlier in the Masechta twice. Chayiv, you be chayiv. What? I what? You mushba b'oimid mehar Sinai not to eat it. So it's speaking about anissa koilo, where you said not to eat nevelas, not to eat shchutos, and b'chal that the shvuah is chal and the shchutos it's chal what? On the nevelas as well. We'll get to this is tomorrow's share, not today's share. Reb Shimon Paita. Reb Shimon says Yipata because Reb Shimon does not hold a Visakail. Omar, a final case. Kainim ishti nenesli imachalti ayoim. My wife will be also to have enough like kainim if I eat today. Who achal nevelas treifus skasim rumashim chai. Arishta is asura. His wife would be asur, and even over here, Reb Shimon would be maida. Over here, Reb Shimon would be maida. Okay, so what's the first case? I make a shvuah not to eat. I eat and drink. I'm chayiv once. I make a shvuah not to eat. I make a shvuah not to drink. Right? Then I'm chayiv twice. Amar Rav Chiya bar Rav and Amar Shmuel. Shvuah shlei oichel v'shasa chayiv. Iba yisei mesvara. Iba yisei mekra. In other words, here, guys, I didn't eat. I drank. Shvuah shlei oichel. I made a shvuah not to eat. Not to eat. And what did I do? I drank. This is not the Mishnah's case, guys. The Mishnah's case is shvuah that I won't eat, and I drank, and I ate and drank, right? That's the Mishnah's case. Good. This case, guys, you didn't eat at all. You drank. Yechayev. Once you say yechayev, al korchach shtiya must be chal achila. Why am I chayev? I made a shvuah not to eat. I make a shvuah not to drink. So the Gemara wants to know why you chayev. Iba Yasema Svara, Iba Yasema Kra, Iba Yasema Svara, the Amalei Inish Lechavre, a person says to his friend, Nitin Midi, Va'ayil, taste something, come on, Ayil Va'achli V'shasu. So in other words, when you say person come, nem something, come in, you're going to give him to eat and drink. So it's a svara that drinking is b'chal eating. You don't invite a person over and he's eating, and then he goes to take the wine or takes the water. You say, no, I only invited you to eat. It's part of the eating process, right? So memela, it's a svara that if you make a shvua not to eat and you drink, you should be chayav, because in svara, shtia is b'chal achila. V'ibay seimo, or else I can tell you, kra, it's a pasuk. Shtia b'chal achila, damrei shlakish, minayin l'shtia shi b'chal achila, shenemar. So the pasuk that we're very familiar with, right? The pasuk that we are very familiar with is V'echalta l'fnei Hashem Elokecha b'makom asher yivchar l'shakin shmoi sham ma'aseh degancha tiroisha v'yitzarecha. Now it says you should eat, and it says dagon, which is grain. Tiroish is what? Is wine. So it says you should eat wine. So you don't eat wine, you drink wine. So what do you see? That from the pasuk, that shtia is b'chal achila. You see that shtia is b'chal achila. Amid Aleph, v'chal fnei Hashem Elokecha b'makom asher yivchar l'shakin shmei sham ma'aseh degan tiroishcha v'tiroish chamrahu. V'ksiv, it says v'echalta. So l'chayra you have a raya that shtia is b'chal achila. Says the Gemara, no, maybe you don't have a raya. V'dilma ayidei anigroin. Anigroin is a beet dish, and in it they had what? Wine. With the Dama Rabbi Bar Shmuel, anigroin is maya de silky. It's a tafshel of beets. Askiron, in maya de kulai shalki. It's a vegetable dish, and it also has what? Wine in it. So the fact that it says ve'achalta tiroishcha is no raya that shti is b'chal achila. Maybe it's speaking about eating. We have recipes that call for wine, like dry red wine, and maybe that's what you're doing, but it's not a raya. Okay. I have a different pasuk. It says, what should you spend your Ma'aseh Sheni money on, guys? It says, you take the money that you appointed and now it's Kedushas Ma'aseh Sheni, you bring it to Yerushalayim, and spend it whatever you desire. Listen to the pasuk. Babakar, ubatzayin, ubiyayin, ubeshecha, ubechol asher tishalcha nafshecha, v'yachalta sham, and you'll eat it there. So it says yayin, sheichar, ubechol asher tishalcha, v'yachalta sham. So l'chayra, you see shtia, it mentions wine, and now you're going to give the same teretz, right? Well, let's wait a second, okay? Says the Gemara, so you see that what it says achila, and it says wine, and it says achila. El Oma Ravacha by Yaakov Michacha v'Nesata Kesef Chol Shetav Nafshecha Babaka B'Tzayin B'Yayin B'Shecha Yayin Chamra Chamrahu Ksiv Yachalted in later on in the pasuk. V'Dil Machinami Al Yidei Anigroin. There's no Shecha Ksiv. Shecha is like we touch it beer, but it's antiquated wine. Midi the Mishtake. It means something that will go ahead and make you drunk. L'chayr, if you're going to eat Anigroin, it's not going to make you drunk. There's no raya. V'Dilma Devela Keilis. Maybe it's this Devela, this dates that come from the place called Keilis, the Tanya. Achal devela Keilis, v'shasa devash v'chol v'nichlis l'migdash v'avad chayev. We said that the kohen would be chayev, so it can intoxicate. So the fact that it says shecher is no raya that it's wine. So where's your raya that shti is b'chal achila? Ela gamar shecher minasa. We're going to learn out shecher from nazir to Ma'aseh Sheni, and by Ma'aseh Sheni, shecher is a liquid, and it says v'yachalta. You have a raya that what shtia is b'chal achila. Malahalan yayin afkan yayin. So there's your raya. There's your raya. So we have a svara. When a person invites you over to eat, it means to drink as well. Or the pasuk from Ma'aseh Sheni, shecha from Nazir, that what you're eating wine, obviously, so therefore shtia must be chalachila. And therefore, if a person makes a net shvua not to eat and he drinks, you be chayiv in shogeg, you be chayiv in oil v'yarid. Amarava, afananami tanina. We also learned that shtia is b'chal achila. Shevuous lo oichel, v'achol v'shasa, ein chayv el achas. That's our Mishnah, guys. That's our case of the Mishnah. You made a shvuah not to eat. You ate and you drank. You only chayv once. Listen to the Lam de Shiraya. Iyamit b'shleima shtiya b'chal achila, isterchei l'tana lashminon, ein chayv el achas. El iyamit shtiya la b'chal achila, Shua shloyoichel v'achel v'asa malacha mi'itzrich lashmina de'en chayiv el achas. Guys, outside. You go ahead, you make a shua not to eat. You eat and you drink. You only chayiv once. If I would tell you, you make a shua not to eat, and you ate and you shot a basketball, who cares? The fact that you said shtia is only chayiv once is to tell you shtia is like achila. And memeli only chayiv once because you ate twice in one halama. But the fact that you linked it to this shvua, obviously shtia must be chal achila. The inference that Rav is making is geschmack. Because if it has nothing to do with it, it's no different than shooting a basketball or the Gemara's example, going to work, right? But the fact that you needed to tell me only chayiv once is because shtia is b'chal achila. Geschmack is geschmack araya. Says the Gemara, Amalei Abaye to Rava, Elamai shtia b'chal achila. You're telling me it is ema seifa shua shloi oichel. I make a shua not to eat. Ushloi eshta, and make a shua not to drink. Double shua, not to eat and not to drink. V'achel v'shasa chayiv shtayim. You chayiv twice, right? Kivin the amar shloi oichel itzalei b'shtia. Once you said, now you tell me achil is b'chal shtia, right? So once you said you can't eat, memele you're telling me you can't drink either. Ki amar shloi eshta amai chayiv. Ilu amar shloi eshta trei zimni mima chayiv tarti. Says the Abaye to Rava from the Seifa, a raya that shti is not b'chal achila. Guys, we know ain't shvur chal shvur, right? We know, So, what are you telling me over here? You make a shvur not to drink, you made a shvur not to eat. But that's the same thing as saying a shvur not to drink, because shti is b'chal achila. Then you go ahead and say, if shlei eshta, I won't drink. You chayiv on two separate shvuas, right? Right, Abaye to Rava, why chayiv on two separate shvuas? It's one shvua. The second shvua should not be chal. It's the same shvua. It's a shvua that I won't eat, shvua that I won't eat. And we said already, that's not a shvua. Let's see the lashon again. So Amalei Abaye, Elamai, shtia, first white line, shtia b'chal achila, ema seifa, shvua shlei oichel, ushalei eshte, a double shvua. I won't eat and I won't drink. V'achol v'shasa, and you eat and you drink. Chayiv shtayim v'chayiv tu kamanis. Kivin the amar fezab ayah. Kivin the amar shlei oichel. It's a lebit shtia. Once you said I won't eat, you was usher to drink. Ki amar shlei eshta. When then you repeated, I won't go ahead want and drink a new shvua. Am I chayiv? Ilu amar shlei eshta trezimni mima chayiv tarti. You only chayiv once. So that's right. That's Abaye's kasha. So Amalei said Rava to Abaye, Hasam the amar shlei eshta. You got the order wrong. It's not that he said eating first and therefore shtia is b'chal achila. He said shtia first and then he said achila. Because even if achila, shtia is b'chal achila, achila is not b'chal shtia. The shtia b'chal achila isya, achila b'chal shtia lesser. Okay. So in other words, that's not a kasha. Really, in fact, shtia is b'chal achila, but the case of the Mishnah, the reason you chayiv twice is first you said I won't drink, then you said you won't eat. So therefore, shua is chal. So avalom shua shlei oichel shlei eshta v'ochel v'shasa mai en chayiv ala achas. Okay, so therefore, the way you're learning pshat Rava in our Mishnah, guys, if you make a shvua not to eat, and also in addition not to drink, you only be chayiv once. Why? Because shtia is b'chal achila. Again, Rav is switching the order, saying you won't drink, you won't eat. So, but if your goyim is like our Mishnah, that you won't eat and you won't drink, and then you do both, right? You only be chayiv once. Ihachi, if you only chayiv once, at the tani reisha, shvua shlei oichel v'achol v'shasa. The first case, you ate, you made a shvua not to eat, and you ate and you drank. In chayiv ala achas, tell me a bigger chiddush. Listen, shvua shlei oichel v'shlei eshta in chayiv ala achas. The kol shkein shlei oichel l'chudei. Guys, outside. The Gemara will always tell us the biggest chiddush. Guys, listen to the chiddush. If you're telling me that shtia is b'chal achila, yeah? What would it then be the following case? Guys, here's the following case. I make a shvua not to eat and not to drink. I then go ahead and do both. What am I chayiv? How many times? You're telling me I'm only chayiv once. Why? Because the second shvua is not chal, because I only have one shvua. I made a shvua not to drink. By saying eating, I was saying don't drink. What's the bigger chiddush? It says make the following shvua. A shvua that I won't eat and I won't drink, I'm only chayiv once, or a shvua that I won't eat, and then I do both and I'm chayiv once. I made a shvua not to eat, that's it. And then I did both. It's a much bigger chiddush to say you have a double shvua, not to eat, not to drink, and you're still only chayiv once. But the Mishnah didn't say that. The Mishnah said a less of a chiddush. The Mishnah said, I made a shvua not to eat, period, and then I ate and drank. Why do you limit your chiddush to that? You could have told me a bigger chiddush. I made a shvua not to eat, in addition to shvua not to drink, I'm still only chayiv once. So if it was true that a shvua not to eat and a shvua not to drink, you only chayiv once, the Mishnah should have told me that. Why did the Mishnah limit the chiddush to a shvua that I won't eat, period, and didn't mention achila? That's the kasha that we're throwing back on Abaya. Let's see the lashon again, guys. Okay. Says the Gemara. Adatani Reisha, the first case, Shvuah shloi oichel v'achal, you made a shvuah not to eat. That's it. V'achal v'shasa, and then you did two things, you ate and drank. Ein chayv achas, listni, learn a bigger chiddush. Shvuah shloi achal v'shloi yeshta, I made a double shvuah. Ein chayv achas. The kol shekain, and certainly shloi oichel l'chudei, I'd only be chayiv once. That's what Rabbi answers back to Abaya. Elo lo'olam kediktani, guys. Lo'olam, it's speaking, you made a shvuah not to eat, and then you made a shvuah not to drink. Guys, what was the kasha? Guys, I made a shvuah not to eat and a shvuah not to drink. What was the kasha? Shouldn't be chayiv twice, right? I shouldn't be chayiv once, because the second shvuah shouldn't be chal since shtia is b'chal achila. That was the kasha. Abayi's kasha to Rava. The second shvuah shouldn't be chal. Since you said you won't eat, it means you won't eat, and it means you won't drink. So the second shvuah you won't drink is not chal. So why are you chayiv twice? And so what did Rava say? He switched the order around. And then yes, the kasha says, okay, so Rava is taking away that. Don't switch the order around. You made a double shvuah. But guys, listen. You know when shti is b'chal achila? If I don't say anything. If I make a shvuah not to eat, and I eat and drink, you chayiv once. Once I go out of my way to say, I won't eat, and then you say, I won't drink, you're being megala when you said eat, you only meant eat. Or else you wouldn't say drink. The fact that you said drink is megala that your achila was only achila. That's geschmack. That's why you chayiv twice. You make a shvuah not to eat. So guess what? Shti is b'chal achila. You make a shvuah not to eat. And again, in the same breath, you say not to drink. It's megala that when you said eat, you meant only food. You didn't mean drink. That's the pshat. Lo'olam kediktani, meaning you made a shvuah not to eat and not to drink. For shiny hacha, it's different over here. Even though shtia b'chal Torah kula is b'chal achila. Even though shtia b'chal Torah is b'chal achila. For shiny hacha, it's different over here. Kivin the ama shlei oichel. And guys, if you would have stopped right there, shtia is b'chal achila. V'hada ama shlei eshta. And now you said what? You won't drink? Goli adaite, what were you revealing? The hach achila the amar, achila grei dasahi. That's achila. Geschmack teretz. Guys, so achila is shti is b'chal achila. If you make a shvuah not to eat and you drink, you're going to be chayiv. Why? Because shti is b'chal achila. Since you just said eat, what's normal eating? Drinking. If the Mishnah says if you make a shvuah not to eat and then you say and in addition not to drink, you're going to be chayiv twice. It's two separate shvuahs. Why is it two separate shvuahs? If shti is b'chal achila, the second shvuah shouldn't be chal. By you saying the second shvuah, you're being megala. What did you mean by the first shvuah? Only achila. Or else, of course, shti is b'chal achila, you wouldn't have said anything. Very geschmack. Again, remember, guys, by shvuahs, you got to know what the guy means. By nedarim, you got to know what the guy means, right? So here, it's a very geschmack. Amar Vashi, masisa nami deka. The Mishnah is also meduyik. That achila b'chal shti. Shvuah shloi oichel. You make a shvuah not to eat. For ochel oichlin shein aruyel achila, and you eat things that are not royal achila. V'shasa mashkin shein aruyel shtia. Pata. Mashim haruya and chayiv. V'mai hashvuah shlei oichel kamar. Right? You only said eating. And the reason why you pata from the drinking, because you drank something that you shouldn't be drinking. Let's say you drank something that normally you'd be chayiv. I never mentioned shtia. It must be shtia is b'chal achila. That's the diuk from our Mishnah according to Rav Ashi. Gemara says not it's nishkan raya. Why? Dilma da'amat harti. Maybe you said two things: shua shloyachol and shua shloyeshte. You have no raya. You have no raya. Could be that what? Guys, look at the case of the Mishnah. It says shua shloyachol and shloyshasa, and you eat and you drink. Maybe you taka said you're not going to drink, so you have no raya. Bottom line is we have good pshat. If a person makes a shvua not to eat and he drinks and only drinks, you be chayiv. If a person makes a shvua not to eat and not to drink, right? Then and he does both, you be chayiv twice. Why? Because by saying achil a shtia separate from achila, you megala that achila is zechalein and shtia is zechalein. That shtia is not b'chalav. Okay. The next case of the Mishnah was but with the pas soyer and paschitin. Let's go look back in the Mishnah and let's look at the lashon very clearly to facilitate understanding the next piece of Gemara. It's not difficult at all. Says the Mishnah, you make a shvua shaloi oichel, you were not going to eat. V'yachol, and you ate three types of breads. You chayiv once. I just said I'm not going to eat. I went ahead, ate three types of breads. It's like I made a shvua in one halama and I ate this and this and this, and that's it. Okay, why do you tell me this case? There's no chiddush in this case. The chiddush is the next case. Shvuah shlei oichel pas chitin, u pas soirin, u pas kusmin, and you say bump, bump, bump. It's a triple shvuah, guys. It's a triple shvuah, and therefore you chayv each and every one. Now the Gemara wants to know why is that. That's what we're going to do right now. The Gemara wants to know why is that, and we're going to do that right now. So shvua shlei oichel v'ochel paschitin, and you eat paschitin, pasorin. Okay. Now, why are you chayav on each and every one? V'dilma lemifta nafshei me'achrinasa kasi. Rashi, amaykatoni chayav v'kolachas v'achas. Why are you chayav three times? Dilma hay de parish lahu. That he explained paschitin, soirin v'kusmin lav la fushay b'shvuas kasi. He's not coming to it on shvuas. Ela lemifta nafshei b'shvuas b'dor macherim. He wants to go ahead and get himself off the hook from other things. In other words, maybe he wants to limit it. He wants to limit it to the bread family. He doesn't want to extend it beyond. But what's the raya that it's three separate shvuas? That's the Gemara's kasha. And for the Gemara, if that's the case, he shouldn't have said pas, upas, upas. If he wanted to just limit it to these things and not extend beyond, then he just should have said chitin so'irin v'kusamin. He shouldn't have said pas, pas, pas. By saying pas, 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 what did he do? He separated and made three separate shvuas. Fred the Gemara v'dilma lakus. Maybe if he would have said l'meima chitin so'irin v'kusamin, maybe he would have been what? The reason why he said pas, guys, is because if you would have said chitin, maybe to chew chitin, so'irin to chew so'irin, kusmin to chew kusmin. In other words, you had to say pas to explain what he meant, because maybe he meant to chew. Well, we have the Gemara right in Psachim about getting a wheat kernel wet in your mouth if you ever have a problem of chametz. That people would put wheat kernels in their mouth. We have Cracker Jacks, right? But people would put in their mouth different things like that. So in other words, your raya, guys, your raya that what? Is that he said pas, pas, pas. Maybe he said pas because if he wouldn't have said pas, you would have thought he meant a shvua not to chew wheat, not to chew barley, not to chew spelt, right? So that's why. But einochinami, it's not three separate shvuas. As I read the Gemara, right? As I read the Gemara. And for the Gemara, if that's the case, the Havile Lemema pas chitin usarim v'kusamin. Oh, you know what? You don't have to say pas, pas, pas. If you would have said one pas chitin, so'irin, kusmin, I would have said the first pas goes on the other two. And therefore, I would say it doesn't mean to chew the other two, it means pas, right? But by saying pas, 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 you mean three. Fred the Gemara, obvious question, guys. If you said pas chitin, maybe you'd only asa chitin, but you'd be asa to chew the other two, but it's not two separate shvuas, since you say pas in the other two. Says the Gemara. V'dilma paschitin lechal soirin v'kusmin lakus. If you would have said that, it would mean paschitin to eat is usr, and soirin v'kusmin is to chew. Says the Gemara, if that's the case, paschitin v'shel soirin v'shel kusamin. If you wanted to say that what it means 3 pas and not you don't have to. In other words, what makes it 3 Shevuous is the 3 pasim. So what we're doing is different variables to remove those 2 things and maybe make it 1 Shvuah. So the first variable is don't say anything at all. Then we said maybe it means chewing. Okay, say 1 pas, and then what means what? 1 pas, the other 2 chewings. Says the Gemara, if you meant 3 pas, you don't have to say 3 pas. I can avoid the chewing problem simply with the following lashon. What? Pas chitin, vishel soirin, vishel kusamim. And now the vishel would mean, just like pas is chitin, so to the pas is soirin, so to the pas is kusamim. And I know it wouldn't mean what? Chewing. Ella, why did I say pas? To make it 3 separate shvuas. You know, that's what I'm avoiding. To make it 3 separate shvuas. I'm based. The dilma ayirei taruvis. Maybe if you would have said that, guys, you would have said, guys, pas chitin v'shel soirin v'shel kusamim. It'd only be multigrain, right? It'd only be us multigrain, right? I'd say maybe only multigrain, it's harubis. It says, no, the aim of v'chein shel so'im, v'chein shel kusamim. Then you had to say paschitin, v'chein shel so'im, v'chein shel kusamim. And I would have known it meant what? Only pas. Guys, so in other words, if you meant 1 shvuah on these 3 things, say paschitin, v'chein so'im, v'chein kusamim. I would have known it's not chewing because it's similar to that. And I would know that why it's not taruvis because you said v'chein. Ella, why you say pas lamali? Shmami no lechalek 3 separate shvuas. Therefore, what? It separates into what? 3 separate shvuas. Okay. So now, let's go back to the Mishnah in the next case. Shvuas le'yeshta v'shosam ashken habein chayv achas. Shvuas le'eshta yayin v'shemen u'dvash v'shasa chayiv al kolachas v'achas. So you chayiv on each and every one. Now the question over here, you didn't say pas, right? You didn't say over here pas. Back in the Gemara. Shvuas le'eshta v'shos mashkan habein chayv achas b'shlei mohasam over there by our bread case at the Amrit misyari pas l'chiyuva, right? That over there, by that case, miyasrule pas, the extra pas, l'chiyuva, that we chayiv on each and every one. Elohacha, my havilele meimad. What could you said over here different? There miyasra, it was extra. The pas was extra to create 3 separate shvuas. Over here, you don't have an extra pas. So why over here are we saying devash, cholav, and yayim? Why are we saying the what? Shemen, the 3 separate things. I don't even say cholav. Okay, why are we saying 3 separate things? Again, the same kasha. Maybe he wanted to make sure that what? The only things I can't drink are wine, a shemen, and devash. But anything else I could drink. Why are you assuming it's 3 separate shvuas and you chayev b'shoigeg 3 separate kabbanas? Maybe I mentioned yayin, shemen, and devash as opposed to milk, as opposed to I don't know, something else. Amar Papa hacha b'munachim lefanav askinon. In front of him is yayin, devash, and what? And challah and shemen. Shahoyu lo loymar shvuah shlei eshta elu. A shvuah, in other words, if you only wanted guys to asa these 3 and any other liquid, lemonade, grape Gatorade, whatever you wanted to drink would be mutter, you have in front of you these 3 things. And when you said, if you wanted to just asa these 3 things, you should have said the word elu, right? But by verbalizing it, you're asking everything. Maybe these, if you would have, guys, I won't drink this bottle of wine. I won't drink this devash. I won't drink this oil, but another oil, another devash, another wine. I would. You should have made a shvua that I won't drink like these. If you only wanted to asa these and not something else, you should have gone and said like these, but you didn't. Since you said these 3 things, it means everything. says Dilma Kagain Elud Leishasina, Batsami Hachi Tfemi Hachishasina. Maybe a quart bottle I won't drink, but maybe a liter bottle I will. Maybe an ounce I will. In other words, again, we want to be very exact. So in other words, if I can touch this up a different way, it's no raya that you meant to aser every single liquid in the world. From this min. It says okay, I won't drink the wine, but I'll drink this bottle. Min elu. If you make a shvua, you have in front of you a bottle of wine. Here, have in front of me a bottle of wine, right? There it is, right over here. And I say I won't make sure I won't drink from min elu, from this type. But maybe this bottle itself I would drink, right? Because why? Because I just said the type. I didn't say it itself. So therefore, that's not an option. Okay. You could said you could have said I won't drink these things and anything like it, but he didn't. Therefore, you chayv on everything. That's the good fetch the teretz. The Rav Ika Amar it's not speaking where you have in front of you wine or shemen or dvash. It's speaking his friend is urging him to eat and drink by him. Count to me for kiddush. We'll have a geschmacka olive oil drink. You know, a little honey, maybe a little tequila. Have a little. Come on. Let's have a drink. The hoyeloi loymar. He should have said. Shevuous eshta imach yayin v'shem l'davash. Yeah, eshta imach kama. Yayin v'shem l'davash l'amali l'chayiv kolachas v'yachas. The chayiv on each and every one. In other words, the guy is saying, "Come drink by me." He just should have said, "I'm not drinking by you." One. Why did he go ahead and say a shvua that I'm not going to drink wine, I'm not going to drink shem, and I'm not going to drink davash? Ella, when he said that lashon, we touch up. He meant what? 3 separate shvuas. He meant separate shvuas. Okay. Now, one of the shvuas fellas that we're going to see later on in the Masechta is called shvuas hapikadon. You entrust somebody to watch something for you. Yeah, you entrust somebody to watch something for you. You come, you show up, and you say, "Where is it?" He says, "Lahadam, nishketzoygen, nishkefloygen." You swear to that fact, and then you admit the truth. So that's what's called. You're going to bring an osham gezelos. Right, it's going to be Asham Gazelis. Now, the Haidah that you mid has to be a Shava Pruta. The guy has to claim a Shava Pruta, it has to be a Shava Pruta. So, right now, we're not doing it. I just had to give you an introduction because we're going to ask a question from there. Okay? Sanan Hassam. We learned later on, and Daf Lamed Vav Amid Beis, and it's the Sugya of Shevuous Hapikadon. Tainli Chitin Usa'ayrim V'Kusamim Sheyesh Lebiyatcha. Now, I come, do me a favor. I entrusted you to watch my wheat, my barley, my spelt. Where is it? And he says, Shvuah shein lecha biyadi klum. He swears he doesn't have anything. Ein chayiv ela achas. Then when he admits the truth, he'd only be chayiv one carbon. Asham ilos. Shvuah shein lecha biyadi chitin usa'orim v'kusamim. He makes a shvuah that what? He doesn't have by him chitin, sa'orim, v'kusamim. Now the first lashon, guys, is what? He says, he claims the 3 things. He says, I don't have anything. He's only chayiv once. But if he makes a shvua, I don't have the 3 things, and he's mefarid 1, 2, 3. Chayiv kolachas v'yachas. He be chayiv 3 separate shvuas. Everyone agrees to that. Now here's the guys outside. Here's the Gemara Shaila. Are there 3 shvuas over here or 4? He makes a shvua that I don't have. 1, 2, 3, and the shvua that is what is 1. Or it's only 3. It's only 3. What's the nafkamina? If you're going to tell me it's 3 shuas, then if I have I need a shavar puter in each one to be mechayev, because I can't be mitzaref the 3 because they're 3 separate shuas. However, if it's a issa koilo, the 4th shvua, the initial shvua, that makes them all, then you'll be mitzaref. That's the 2 very long Rashis over here. I just saved us some time. So again, shuas apikadin. Is it 3 shvuas or 4 shvuas? And nafkamina and halacha would be, if it's 4 shvuas, we will be mitzaref to the share of shava pruta. If it's 3 separate shvuas, then no, you need a pruta from each one. So now. Afilu pruta mikula mitzarefes. Even a pruta from a pruta would be mitzaref. We have a third, it'd be mitzvah for you to bring a korban. Now, pligi bar Ravacha Ravina, Chad Amar, a party mechayva, a kloli loy mechayiv. You can mechayiv on the yayin, on the dvash, and yayin, on the soyer and the kusmin and the chitim, three separately, but you won't be chayiv together. A kloli on the general shuanat. The chadam a kloli nami mechayiv, and the nafkamina would be that it's mitzvah together. Okay. A protad the ha imishtabid v'had imishtabid mechayiv tarti. Now. My Amarava Ravina Hachamai. Okay, that's the din by Shevuous Hapikadon. What's the din by us? Are they considered, guys? You're making three on Yayin Devash. Are they three separate? And is there a klal that you be chayiv? What's the share? Whatever the share is, the kol shu according to Rabbi Kiva. Because a revius a kasayis, good, would be mitzdarif or not. Again, if you hold there's no klal over here, you won't be mitzdarif. If you hold there's a fourth, the general shvua, then you would be mitzdarif. So we want to know this din, this machlokes by Shevuous Hapikadon, would it apply over here by Shevuous Bitoy? By Shevuous Bitoy. Okay, that's the shayla. So Amarava, hachi hashta. You can't compare the two. Hasam over there by Shevuous Hapikadon, mechayev aklala. Each chiyuv is separate. You chayiv each one separately, right? It's separate shvuas, fellas. There's no shvua chalal shvu over here. The guy says to you, "Where's my wheat?" I don't got it. Where's my barley? I don't got it. Where's my spelt? I don't got it. One has nothing to do with the other. You have three separate, kfira. What do you say over here, right? Make a shvua that you won't eat this. A shvua, I won't eat this. Again, it's gonna be ain't shvua chalal shvua. Because once you make one shvua, you mushbir b'omer hasinai to keep that shvua. So the whole process doesn't begin. Says the Gemara, Hacha isal kedaitach isa b'klola aproti amay mechayev mushbir b'omer hasinai hu. You mushbir b'omer hasinai. In other words, over here it's not possible because once you made one shvua on the klal, the pratim won't apply. Good. Look at Rashi. The whole shaita b'shaita b'mayna kokafale. Each one time by Shevuous Hapikadon, when you make a shvua that you don't have the wheat, you don't have the spelt, you don't have the barley, you're being kaifer on money, and that creates the shvua. Kiletnam perik Shevuous Hapikadon. Hishbiel of hey pamim makes 5 shvuas v'kafar chayv v'kolachas v'yachad. Hilkach. Hinami armina shvuasa deklala shvuasa be'apei nafshehi. It's a separate shvua. Ikelichiyuvi shvuasa departa. Avagabi shloyoichel, a shvua that you won't eat. Isa kadaitich isya beklala lemahave shvua be'apei nafshe. Guys, listen to this. What you're saying? You're making a shvua. I'm not going to eat. Good. Now you ate once, and you say that's another shvua. That second shvua is not a shvua. You already made a shvua not to eat. So in other words, in Yiddish we say, Kenny, Frank Nishon. It doesn't begin, right? The whole thing doesn't begin. Once you made the shvua you made the shvua that I won't eat. So Memela, the next shvua is you can't make a second shvua not to eat. You can make a third shvua not to eat, and therefore it doesn't apply. Finish this off Rashi. For us, you won't be mechayv in the pratim. Harikvar mushba v'oimen hu me'aleihem. Bein shvua chal shvua, and a shvua is not chal on a shvua. Okay, the next Gemara is the next sugya is tomorrow morning, Bez Hashem. Either 9:15, 9:30. I'll get back to you, Bez Hashem.